There was a lot of drinking. There was a lot of just mental and physical abuse.
Kellys was 7 months pregnant when she walked out on Nas and put abuse allegations on his name. Kim Scott said Eminem's lyrics pushed her to the edge. And Kim Kardashian left Kanye after he blasted their private business online. In this video, I'll show you rappers' ex-wives who ruined their rep, Kim Scott and Eminem. All right, we're starting with what is arguably the most notorious, most talked about, most absolutely unhinged relationship in the entire history of hip-hop. The man the whole world knows as Eminem and his ex-wife Kimberly Scott. The whole origin story starts back in 1988 at a house party in Michigan. Young Marshall, just 15 at the time, was standing on a coffee table going off on LL Cool J's I'm Bad when he clocked 13-year-old Kim standing in the doorway, cigarette in hand, just looking at him. She joined in. Something clicked, and from that moment, these two people were locked into each other's orbit in a way that neither one of them was ever fully going to escape. Kim and her twin sister Dawn had bounced from an abusive home and were staying at a youth shelter. Eminem's mom's Debbie Nelson took them in, though she reportedly had zero love for the situation. She wasn't feeling the age gap or Kim's vibe. The two teenagers started doing their thing on and off, living in poverty in Detroit's grimmiest neighborhoods. Marshall dropped out of high school. They were broke, struggling, surviving. Then on Christmas Day 1995, Kim gave birth to their daughter, Haley Jade Scott. Eminem said later that was his wake-up call, the moment that made him grind harder than ever on his music, so his daughter wouldn't have to live the way he did. And grind he did, but the way he chose to document their relationship in his music. That's where the reputation starts taking heavy hits. In February 1999, Eminem dropped the Slim Shady LP, which had a track on it called 9-7 Bonnie and Clyde, a song where he literally raps about murdering Kim and dumping her body in a lake with their baby daughter, Haley, in a car narrating parts of the scene, like it's a field trip on a major label. The song was a commercial hit and simultaneously one of the most disturbing pieces of music ever released. Critics were shook. Women's groups were on site immediately. Kim heard it on the radio. She was devastated. But fam, it got worse. In June 1999, just weeks before the album cycle, they actually got married. Eminem locked it down right before his first big tour with Kim later, saying the marriage was supposed to keep him faithful and grounded. That lasted about as long as you'd expect from a man suddenly becoming world famous. Infidelity rumors started popping almost immediately. The whole thing was already wobbling. Then 2000 came through, and things went off the rails completely. At a Detroit concert, Eminem performed the song Kim, a graphic, deranged track simulating her murder in real time with an inflatable doll on stage, while Kim herself was sitting in the audience watching the whole thing unfold.
And here he is, completely and totally disrespecting me in the worst way possible in front of millions of people.
Slammed her into walls and broke her ribs. She also alleged he subjected her to sustained verbal abuse, calling her a greedy beat. E. Dre denied every single thing on that list, calling the allegations blatant lies. Then, days after those filings dropped, Dre suffered a brain aneurysm and spent weeks hospitalized in intensive care. Nicole reportedly visited him. Here's the thing that made these allegations hit different. This was not the first time Dre's name had been put next to violence against women. He had publicly apologized in 2015 for his 1991 assault of journalist Dee Barnes. The 2015 Straight Outta Compton biopic deliberately left out his history of violence against women, which had already drawn heavy criticism at the time. Now Nicole's allegations were ripping every one of those old wounds back open. Suddenly, the reform mogul narrative was looking very shaky. The divorce was finalized in December 2021 with a settlement of $100 million, roughly 1/8 of his estimated fortune. Dre kept the entire music catalog, 7 properties, his Apple stock, and all his trademarks. Nicole walked away with $50 million up front and another $50 million a year later. No ongoing spousal support. Dre then posted a photo of balloons spelling out divorced AF on Instagram. And just when you thought the drama was done, in 2024, the couple's divorce therapist filed a lawsuit against Dre, claiming the threats and harassment were so severe he had started wearing a bulletproof vest. On God, this man's life is genuinely something else. Like Dr. Dre, this next rapper had his rep ruined for allegedly putting hands on his wife, Tashara Simmons and DMX. Tashara Simmons and Earl Simmons. DMX met as teenagers in Yoners, New York, bonding over shared trauma, shared hardship, and a love that was as fierce and complicated as anything the genre has ever produced. For over 3 decades, from high school sweethearts to married couple to co-parents to unwronged exes to something resembling friends, these two people were tied together in ways that no court document was ever going to fully untangle. Their son, Xavier, was born in 1992, and from jump, Tasher was the foundation of DMX's world, the grounded, stable presence behind one of hip-hop's most electrifying and simultaneously most self-destructive figures. When DMX signed to Rough Riders in 1997 and exploded into the mainstream with his debut, It's Dark and Hell is Hot in 1998, Tasher was holding everything together, managing the home, raising their kids, supported his career through all of it. They got married in 1999 after 11 years together, and 4 children followed. But fame brought out the worst of DMX's already severe demons. His crack cocaine addiction, which he'd been battling since he was a teenager. Before the deal, before the fame, got worse with the money and the spotlight. Arrests mounted, drugs, animal cruelty, driving offenses, you name it. Tasher endured it all. And then there was the infidelity. Not one situation, not 2, but a pattern so extensive that DMX fathered 15 total children from 9 different women. Tasher filed for divorce in 2010, while DMX was locked up for probation violations, publicly saying that he had taken her kindness for weakness. In 2012, they appeared together on VH1's Couples Therapy, where Tashara confronted him on national television about years of infidelity and abuse. It was raw, it was painful, and it was very, very public. DMX admitted to the outside children, but blamed the addiction. The divorce was finalized in 2014, and somehow despite everything they stayed close. They co-parented. They supported each other. Tasher published her memoir, You Think You Know. You Have No Idea, in 2013 detailing the abuse and her journey toward healing. When DMX caught a health scare following an overdose in 2021, Tashara was there. On April 9th, 2021, DMX died from a heart attack induced by a cocaine overdose. He was 50 years old. Tara mourned him publicly as her best friend, but the story wasn't finished. DMX passed without a will, leaving an estate and 15 children and pure chaos behind. In 2024, Tara filed suit against his estate, claiming she was owed 50% of his entire music catalog, copyrights, trademarks, and likeness rights based on how their 2014 divorce settlement was worded. Bold move, expensive move, ultimately unsuccessful. In April 2025, Judge David F. Everett ruled against her, saying the divorce agreement never transferred catalog ownership. The estate kept everything. She was granted $214,000 in unpaid child support DMX owed her at the time of his death. Not the bag she was swinging for, but at least something. The impact on DMX's legacy is real and complicated. Tasher's abuse disclosures and the infidelity revelations damaged his image, not just as a troubled artist, but as a man who repeatedly failed the people who loved him most. The post-death estate wars with 15 claimants fighting over royalties and rights painted a picture of profound personal chaos that overshadowed his greatness. Dr. Dre's situation was messy, but the next rapper's wife walked out on him while she was pregnant with their child, Keelys and Nas. This one requires context because on paper, Kellis Rogers and Nasir Jones look like one of hip-hop's most naturally compatible pairings. A power couple that made complete sense. She was a genre-bending R&B artist behind Milkshake. He was one of the most critically revered lyricists in the history of the culture, the architect behind Illmatic in 1994, an album that is genuinely universally considered one of the greatest recordings of all time in any genre. Their first meeting had almost storybook energy to it. Nas stepped to Kellis at an MTV afterparty in 2002 by quoting her own lyrics back at her. They became the culture's power couple. They got married in Atlanta in January 2005 in a private ceremony with African-themed elements. Kellis described the early years as passionate but volatile, arguments escalating fast due to alcohol and pressure from all sides. behind closed doors. There were infidelity allegations coming from multiple directions, substance abuse on both sides, and confrontations that were escalating in severity. The public saw the red carpets. They didn't see the war happening behind them. In April 2009, Kellis filed for divorce, and she was 7 months pregnant with their son, Knight, when she did it. She said later that seeing the widely circulated photos of Rihanna's injuries from Chris Brown's assault was what finally pushed her to make the move. If those images were a mirror, she didn't like what she saw reflected in her own situation. Knight Jones was born in July 2009. The divorce was finalized in May 2010. The financial hit was brutal for Nas. He was initially ordered to pay $55,000 per month in combined spousal and child support, a number he himself later confirmed was devastating to his finances when he disclosed earning $175,000 per month in filings. The support was eventually knocked down to $25,000 per month by 2015. But the ongoing custody battles with Nas accusing Keeley's of blocking his access to their son, and Kellis later relocating with Knight to a farm in Colombia, kept both of them wrapped up in legal drama for nearly a decade. Then 2018 hit, and this is the moment that genuinely scorched NASA's reputation in the streets of public opinion. She bounced, and shortly after that night, Kim attempted suicide by slashing her wrists. Kim filed for divorce in 2001. Irreconcilable differences, which at this point was the understatement of the decade. The split included cheating allegations, with Eminem himself admitting to at least 2 infidelities in his own music. Kim then sued him for $10 million in defamation over the lyrics, arguing they had obliterated her reputation and caused serious psychological harm. She also gave birth to another child, Stevie Lane Scott, in 2002 during their separation with her boyfriend, Eric Harder. Eminem would later adopt Stevie during a reconciliation run in 2005. They briefly got back together and remarried in January 2006 in a private Michigan ceremony. 3 months later, Eminem filed again. The second marriage didn't even survive a season. Consumed by what Eminem himself described as his deepening addiction, a period that would eventually send his career into a years-long tailspin and nearly take him out permanently. He overdosed in 2007, went to rehab, got clean in 2008. Like Eminem, this next rapper had a lot of things to share with the public about his ex-wife and their marriage. Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. Kimberly Nall Kardashian and Kanye Omari. West, now going by just formed what was low-key the most scrutinized celebrity couple of the entire 21st century. Together, they were sitting on billions in combined bag. Yeezy schemes, you name it. Had 4 kids, and for a few years looked genuinely untouchable. The origin story is actually kind of wholesome if you forget everything that came after. They first linked in 2002 when Kim was working as Bry's stylist, and Kanye was in the studio producing for Jay-Z. For nearly a decade, they were just homies or something close to it. Kanye pulled up on Keeping Up with the Kardashians in 2010, and later rapped about his long-standing crush. By 2012, after Kim's extremely public and extremely short 72-day situationship of a marriage with Chris Humphries, Kanye stopped playing and made his move. He redesigned her whole wardrobe, put her in music videos, and in October 2013 proposed at San Francisco's AT&T Park with a 15-carat ring while an orchestra played in the background. The man went all the way in. Their wedding in May 2014 in Florence, Italy, was a $2.8 million production with Andrea Belli singing live and Kim in a custom Givenchy gown. It was the event of the decade, no debate. They had 4 kids, North, St. Chicago, and Psalm. For a few years, the Kim era was giving what it was supposed to give, but the cracks were always underneath the surface. And by 2016, they started showing up in a way that couldn't be ignored anymore. Kanye got hospitalized in November 2016 for what they called exhaustion. But the real story, his worsening mental health and unmanaged bipolar disorder, didn't fully come out until 2 years later in a 2018 interview. Then 2020 pulled up and everything fell apart in the most chaotic, most visible way imaginable at a presidential campaign rally. Because yes, Y was out here running for president. He claimed on stage that he and Kim had considered aborting North. Then he went on a full Twitter rampage accusing Kim of being unfaithful with Meek Mill. saying she was trying to lock him up and just airing out deeply personal marriage business to millions of people in real time. Kim handled it with patience and grace. That was genuinely impressive. She came out publicly, acknowledged his bipolar diagnosis, and asked people to show compassion, but the damage was already done. Kim filed for divorce on February 19, 2021. What came after was a masterclass in how not to handle a public split. Kanye bought a crib directly across the street from Kim's for $4.5 million. He was on Instagram going after Pete Davidson, Kim's new man. On the regular, he was posting private texts, making threats, then making apologies, then more threats. The court declared Kim legally single in March 2022. The divorce got finalized on November 29th. 2022 with Ya on the hook for $200K per month in child support and the two splitting education and security costs. And then came the anti-Semitism. And this is where it went from messy divorce to genuine career catastrophe. In October 2022, Kanye posted about going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people on Twitter, then pulled up on InfoWars and literally praised Adolf Hitler. The industry responded with the swiftness. Adidas cut Yeezy off immediately, costing, an estimated $1.5 billion in net worth overnight. Just like that, Gap dropped him, Balenciaga dropped him. The carefully built image of generational genius, cultural visionary, voice of a generation, all of it went up in smoke. In October 2025, Kim went on the Kardashians and called the marriage toxic, revealing that her kids hadn't heard from Kanye in months. While Kanye revealed intimate marital details, this next rapper allegedly hurt his spouse in a different way. Nicole Young and Dr. Dre. Now, let's talk about a man who for nearly 2 whole decades had successfully flipped his public image from controversial gangster rap pioneer to respected billion-dollar business mogul. We're talking about Andre Ramel Young, Dr. Dre, and his 24-year marriage to Nicole Young, a former attorney who stepped away from her own career to hold his household down and raise their family. When that marriage crumbled in 2020, it didn't just cost Dre $100 million. It cost him the image he had spent decades building brick by brick. Nicole had been married before the NBA player Sedale threat, before she linked with Dre around 1995. Dre, fresh off NWA's dissolution and stacking his solo empire, pursued her through what was reportedly a whole romantic letter. They locked it down in a private Malibu ceremony in May 1996. For over 2 decades, they presented the image of a stable, grounded couple, rare energy in hip-hop, while Dre was building Beats by Dre, running Aftermath Entertainment, and eventually selling Beats to Apple for $3 billion in 2014. Nicole was holding down the home and raising their children. But 2020 changed everything with zero warning. On June 29, 2020, Nicole filed for divorce in Los Angeles Superior Court, citing irreconcilable differences after 24 years, listing their separation date as March 27, 2020. She put Dre's net worth at somewhere between $800 million and $1 billion. And she came for spousal support, asset division, the whole nine, claiming there was no valid prenuptial agreement. Dre's legal team pushed back hard, saying the prenup was real and fully enforceable. Nicole came out of the gate requesting $2 million per month in temporary support, plus $5 million in legal fees, saying Dre had controlled all their finances throughout the whole marriage. A judge ended up ordering $293,000 a month. Still a bag, but nowhere near what she asked for. Dre then turned around and accused her of embezzling $385,000 from a studio. She denied every word of it. Nicole's legal filings alleged a pattern of physical abuse that was.
There was a lot of drinking. There was a lot of just mental and physical abuse.
In a Hollywood Unlocked interview, Kellis dropped all of it, describing what she called a toxic marriage where Nas allegedly punched her, held her down, and kept her in a cycle of mental abuse fueled by heavy drinking. She acknowledged mutual volatility, but said his conduct was severe and repeated. The timing was absolutely devastating. The interview came right as Nas was dropping Nasir, his Kanye-produced comeback album. Nas responded with a 7-part Instagram letter denying the abuse claims and flipping the script, alleging that Kellis had been physically violent toward him, including scratching and biting. and that she had used the allegations as leverage in a child support modification hearing. The public split sharply. Some female artists quietly created distance. Festival bookings got complicated. A generation of newer fans who only knew Nas as an elder statesman suddenly had to reconcile that with the allegations being thrown around. The glow-up from that hole has been slow, but real. Nas went on to win multiple Grammys with his King's Disease series between 2020 and 2022, re-establishing himself as one of the game's greatest living voices. The co-parenting situation with Kellis has reportedly improved dramatically. In 2025, Nas publicly wished Kellis a happy birthday, a small gesture that said a lot about how far they'd come from the courtroom warfare and abuse allegations. While Nas was accused of abuse, this next rapper went down an entirely different route. Kirsten Clay and Chance the Rapper. The story of Kirsten Corley and Chance the Rapper is one of the most fascinating case studies because it proves something real about the hip-hop game. Sometimes the thing that destroys your reputation isn't abuse or infidelity. Sometimes it's a 22-track album that your fans simply cannot get with. The origin story is genuinely sweet. 9-year-old Chancellor Bennett first saw Kirsten at a real estate office party his mom's hosted. He was deep in a Game Boy session, barely paying attention to anything until Kirsten started lip-syncing Destiny's Child's Independent Women. Suddenly, he was very much locked in. They didn't get together then. They were children. But something got planted that day. They reconnected at South by Southwest in 2012, started officially dating in 2013, and their daughter Kinsley arrived in September 2015. The road wasn't always smooth. Early 2016, they went through a split and Kirsten actually filed for sole custody and child support before they found their way back to each other by 2017. Chance proposed on the 4th of July, 2018, right in front of Kinsley and their families. They had a civil ceremony in December 2018. Then on March 9th, 2019, they held their full lavish white wedding in Newport Beach, California, a star-studded celebration that became the direct creative spark for Chance's debut studio album. On July 26, 2019, just months after the wedding, Chance dropped The Big Day, a 22-track album built entirely around the wedding day and married life, featuring his brother, his father, and a level of domestic contentment and corniness that the hip-hop world simply was not ready for. The album debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200, which sounds decent until you remember. This was Chance the Rapper, the man who dropped Acid Rap and Coloring Book, the face of independent hip-hop, the artist whose ceiling looked genuinely limitless, and his long-awaited debut studio album was about his wedding. The internet was not gentle. Anthony Fantano, one of the most prominent music critics in the online space, dropped a 0 out of 10 and let the whole review breathe. Fans made memes. The retrospective takes got even more vicious as time went on. AllMusic called it a certified horror show. Rolling Stone put it at number 50 on their 2024 list of the 50 most disappointing albums of all time. The failure of that album didn't just disappoint people. It fundamentally changed how the culture perceived Chance. The innovative gospel-tinged independent rebel who refused to sign the labels had become, in the eyes of many, just a married dude rapping about his wife. In the rap game, that's a whole identity crisis. The divorce came later, and it came quietly. In April 2024, Chance and Kristen dropped a joint Instagram statement announcing their separation, keeping it respectful, keeping it dignified, focusing on their daughters, Kinsley and Marley. Kirsten filed formally in Cook County in December 2024. The divorce was settled in January 2025. 0 abuse allegations, no financial warfare, no Instagram clapping back. Just 2 adults acknowledging with visible care for each other that the marriage had run its course. In 2025 interviews, Chance called co-parenting the toughest part of the whole transition, but made it clear, we still go to the same places. I see her at least every other week. We're still family forever, just 2 people that definitely love each other. He dropped a new album, Starlene, in August 2025 and launched a tour. While Chance the Rapper's divorce went down quietly, the next rapper found himself right in the middle of serious drama. Jeannie Mai and Jeezy. Jeannie Mai, born January 4th, 1979, was a beloved co-host of The Real, a prominent TV personality and stylist, when she and Jeezy started dating in late 2018 after he pulled up as a guest on the show. The chemistry was immediate, obvious, and everywhere in the entertainment press. Jeezy, the Atlanta street legend behind some of trap music's most foundational anthems, had spent years carefully curating a more evolved, more mature image through his book, Adversity for Sale, and his personal transition from a block to boardrooms. In Jeannie, he seemed to have found the perfect partner for this new chapter of his life. She called him her equal. He proposed during COVID quarantine with a Vietnamese-themed setup at the crib, paying homage to her heritage. They got married in March 2021 in an intimate Atlanta backyard ceremony. Their daughter, Monaco, was born January 11th, 2022. Everything was looking like a whole fairy tale. Then on September 14th, 2023, Jeezy filed for divorce in Fulton County, Georgia, saying the marriage was irretrievably broken with no hope for reconciliation. Jeannie was reportedly completely blindsided.
At the time when I found out, at the same time as the rest of the world, that my marriage was ending in divorce, I was gutted.
What followed was a legal battle that escalated from bad to worse to genuinely alarming in a very short period of time. In April 2024, Jeannie's filings dropped explosive allegations. She alleged Jeezy had choked her, pushed her down a flight of stairs, called her deeply degrading names, and had left an AK-47 unsecured in a location where their daughter Monaco could potentially access it. She also cited a 2023 golf cart incident where Monaco was injured due to what she attributed to Jeezy's negligence. Jeezy denied every single allegation, flipped it back on Jeannie, and claimed she was the one engaging in verbal abuse and weapon possession. For Jeezy, whose entire third act narrative was built on growth, redemption, and family values, these allegations hit like a freight train. His 2023 album, I Might Forgive, But I Don't Forget, had already underperformed, landing at a modest number 33 on the Billboard charts. Appearances got canceled. The motivational author and entrepreneur image he'd built over years was now being weighed against allegations of choking and leaving loaded weapons near a toddler. The number 2 lens connected his gritty lyrical past to his disputed present, and the optics were genuinely bad. The divorce was finalized on June 11th, 2024, with joint custody of Monaco and sealed financial terms. A legal fee dispute followed in March 2025 and got resolved privately. By January 2026, Gia was out here telling interviewers that the whole experience felt like experiencing death alive, saying she was dating herself at 47 and not looking for anything new. Gia has been talking publicly about themes of grace and space, leaning into wellness and personal reflection content. As of March 2026, they co-parent Monaco, and both have acknowledged a need to move forward for their daughter. Gia's net worth sits around $10 million, sustained mostly through touring and books, but his dominance in the hip-hop conversation is clearly in the rear view. This 3-year marriage, sold to the public at every step as a love story and a cultural crossover, turned out to be one of the most damaging chapters of his career, and the speed of it all, from romantic proposal to abuse allegations in less than 5 years, made it hit even harder. Like Jeezy, this next rapper is dealing with his fair share of court drama. Krista Joyner and Exhibit. For those who might not remember, Exhibit was genuinely everywhere in the mid-2000s. The West Coast rap career was legitimate, but it was his run as the host of MTV's Pimp My Ride from 2004 to 2007 that made him a true household name. A charismatic, funny, genuinely lovable presence who made car customization appointment television for an entire generation. He seemed to be making a successful pivot from rapper to multi-platform entertainer. He and Krista, who had been together for close to a decade, got married in 2014 when their son Gatlin was born premature in May 2015 at just 4 pounds. Exhibit shared the news publicly, giving Krista her full credit for holding him down through all of his career transitions. But behind closed doors, Exhibit was building his cannabis brand, Brass Knuckles. Launched in 2015 off California's legalization wave, while simultaneously stacking up debts. The IRS had a $230,000 lien on him, and Krista would later allege that throughout the whole marriage, Exhibit had been unfaithful and had kept total financial control, keeping her dependent on him while making promises he never intended to keep. On February 22, 2021, Krista filed for divorce in LA Superior Court, citing irreconcilable differences and disclosing she had recently learned about a long-term affair. In July 2021, she escalated significantly, filing a breach of contract lawsuit alleging Exhibit had made a verbal promise of lifelong financial support, equivalent to the lifestyle they shared during the marriage, around $30,000 a month, and had simply stopped paying once things got rocky. The court ordered temporary support of $2,000 a month in child support and $3,000 a month in spousal support. Nowhere near what Krista asked for, but an acknowledgement that her claims had enough merit to act on. Exhibit's team called the demands excessive and opportunistic. The back and forth had officially begun. Then the cannabis trademark situation went from bad to explosive. Krista alleged that in December 2022, Exhibit had secretly transferred the Brass Knuckles trademarks to a company called Hero Brands for over $724,000 without her knowledge, without her consent, and in direct violation of the divorce restraining orders that were specifically in place to prevent either party from moving marital assets during proceedings. That move became the centerpiece of everything that followed. By March 2025, Krista had obtained a temporary restraining order, citing alleged threats and missed payments, including a December 2024 payment he completely skipped. In April 2025, Exhibit filed to bifurcate the proceedings, meaning he wanted to be declared legally single while the money fights continued, and got that status on April 29, 2025. The asset trial got pushed. Then in January 2026, Krista launched the most aggressive move yet, a federal lawsuit in U.S. District Court alleging trademark infringement over the Brass Knuckles transfer seeking ownership of the marks, $300,000 in attorney fees, and over $750,000 in owed payments. That case is still pending as of March 2026. It ain't over. What has all of this done to Exhibit's reputation? It's been a comprehensive demolition. The savvy entrepreneur narrative has been completely replaced by a man who allegedly hid assets from his ex-wife. The loving family man persona has been replaced by infidelity allegations and broken promises. And the cannabis empire he built, potentially his most valuable post asset, is now the subject of a federal lawsuit. His net worth, once estimated at around $5 million, has reportedly dropped to $2 to $3 million after legal fees and business losses. No major album since Nepal in 2012. No major projects, just scattered features and podcast appearances. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, click on one of the boxes playing on your screen to watch more similar content.